Our first news topic today is honestly one of the most bizarre and strange that I feel like we've talked about in a while, just because it's like one of those legally what's happening here type of things. So the Marvel Netflix shows like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, The Defenders, that other one with the guy in yellow and green, we don't justify with a name, are leaving Netflix at the end of February. And the world collectively together went, huh? In Tim the Toolman Taylor fashion, and I'm going, but why? And also, how? And also, is there legal precedent for this? Like, it's not one of those situations where Disney buys Fox and now they can use the Fox characters however they want. This is more of like a licensing agreement of Netflix used with Marvel's permission, use these characters and financed it themselves. They made it themselves. These shows, I would think, belong to Netflix. I didn't think these were the type of shows that could leave Netflix. I am very confused, but at the same time, again, this might be putting the cart way in front of the horse, but this also could be the first signs of Disney being more serious about putting adult content on Disney Plus, because they've flirted with the idea before and they've done it internationally. In some of the foreign markets, they have like hybrids to where you can watch Family Guy on Disney Plus, to which I'm just going,
weird. Okay.
Oh, okay. But I'm just very confused legally.
That's so weird. That, like literally having a show on your streaming service that literally makes fun of you. Like,
well, they have The Simpsons.
I mean, I know, but like Family Guy on multiple occasions.
Oh yeah.
Pokes major fun at Disney. So that's so weird.
When
That's
Peter
so
needs an accountant.
Yeah. Or when they travel to different dimensions and different cartoon styles.
They go to Snow White.
Ooh, man. But yeah, I agree. This is weird. It's so weird. I don't understand because, like, yeah, I can't like you said, can't these shows leave? Because these are Netflix shows, I would think. I think it's going to be weird because if they leave, that begs the question, okay, are they going to Disney Plus? Because if they're not, so do these shows just cease to exist?
Check out this Netflix show on Hulu.
Yeah, that's weird. That actually, what if they start doing that? Because it's obvious, you and I have discussed this often, that Netflix has been in the need of the cash, the money, the moolah.
The Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon. No. We just discontinued this Shane McMahon after the Royal Rumble booking, don't you know?
Because, somehow it's all his fault, even though he has 20 plus years of having a good locker room reputation that somehow goes to crap in one night. It's almost like he's the scapegoat for bad booking, but what do I know? Yeah, I'm not buying those dirt sheets either.
It's not like Vince McMahon. Yeah, no, we're not going down that
it's not like Vince
hole.
hates his own kids.
Yeah, no. It's not like he's getting ready to sell the company or anything like that.
Funny you should say that, though. Funny you should bring up WWE selling, because watch, we're going to bring this back around, actually. Follow this weird train of thought. Peacock currently airs all WWE Network. NBC Universal also currently has a partial stake in Hulu, which some reports are going around that NBC Universal is very strongly considering pulling their content from Hulu and pulling their ownership out of Hulu and putting all their content into Peacock and going all in, which would allow Disney 100% ownership of Hulu. Wow. A WWE side tangent actually plays into this, because Peacock, mark my words, Peacock will buy WWE. I think they're pulling out of the Hulu game, which leaves a void for Disney to go, all right, we already own 70% of this. Let's just get that other 30% in our pocket and let's just Hulu this up right now. That way, anything above a PG-13, We could just slap on Hulu, make it the Stars of Disney or the HBO of Disney.
I don't hate it. Yeah, no, yeah, I don't hate it. It wouldn't be the worst idea. Disney does need some more like quote unquote adult content. Um, but to bring it back all the way to Netflix, uh, I do see. I wouldn't be surprised if they start. I want to say loaning, or I don't know what the term is here. Loaning out their programming to other streaming companies in order to help kind of pay the bills. It's not a terrible idea. They've got a lot of pretty good shows that could go make the rounds. Stuff like Altered Carbon could probably do really really well on HBO Max if they ever like, hey,
Ooh.
like that is totally a kind of show that would be on HBO Max. Stuff like that. I could totally see that kind of stuff kind of making the rounds, and I don't hate that idea. The issue I think that we will run into, and I think this is always the issue with streaming products, is because the DVD has kind of gone, DVD and Blu-ray has kind of gone the way of the dodo. Uh, if Netflix completely drops these shows, it's going to be like, it literally will be like these shows do not exist at all, period, ever. Unless they want to start selling box sets, which is not a terrible idea, but
No.
unless I
Well,
that's
also,
all I think I can think of.
we're kind of getting into, this isn't a full news topic, but we can lump it in here. I feel like we're also kind of getting to the point where some properties are shareable in that we're getting a new Blade Runner TV series called Blade Runner 2099, set 50 years after the movie that just bombed, but it's going to be made by Amazon, not Warner Brothers and HBO Max, who, made the movie. But Ridley Scott is still going to be on as producer. I don't know if Denis Villeneuve will be back. He might still be preoccupied with Dune for the foreseeable future. But I'm going, you own this property here, HBO Max. Why aren't you the ones making the show? Or we've talked ad nauseum about what the heck is a Harry Potter situation. I feel like Harry Potter is the biggest shared franchise right now, of 1 month it's on Peacock and 1 month it's on
HBO Max.
HBO Max, which, why does Peacock have any rights to Harry Potter at all? Like, yes, it has the theme park rights, but film-wise, that's Warner Brothers property. Like, Universal didn't produce any Harry Potters. They didn't fund any of it. I feel like they might have been in a bidding war at one point when the movies were first being made, but I feel like content is not as concretely locked down to specific platforms anymore. I mean, maybe certain IPs like Marvel is never leaving Disney for the foreseeable future. They're going to milk that cash cow. But it's just weird of like things that you thought were concrete. Death, taxes, and the Marvel Netflix will never cross over with the MCU. But now that's a more possibility now that Matt Murdock is in the MCU. And is this a bigger sign of that? Now that this is leaving Netflix, that Disney can go, okay, we want you to not have these shows anymore. That way, when we introduce these characters in the MCU, they'll come to our streaming service for future stuff, not yours. Because there's been talk of, and I don't believe it, but there's still been talk of it, that the upcoming Echo series on Disney Plus is secretly a Daredevil show. And I'm going, that's underhanded, but not out of the question for current era Disney of, okay, we want you to take this show off. We'll pay you to not have the show anymore. That way, when we introduce these characters on our own time, we're in complete control, because that's kind of been Kevin Feige's MO.
Which I don't hate. I just think, like, at least like seasons 1, 2, and maybe 3 of Daredevil, and like season 1 and 2 of Punisher. I would love to have those on like a Blu-ray box set. But like, just because, again, and maybe this is like the kid that grew up on the internet in me, like, I don't want to lose that kind of history, because those still have a big, especially the Punisher show, that has a big kind of impact on comic book shows and superheroes actually being allowed to be as realistic as the material will allow them. So I just as that makes complete sense. Absolutely, Echo would be an interesting surname if they kind of were like, "Ha, yeah, it's actually a Daredevil show," but because he doesn't really
Well,
see
Echo's the
life
character,
through
but
Echoes,
still.
but yeah, but still, that's weird. But yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't know, man. I thought it was weird in general to bring, and I think I've said this multiple times. It's weird to get Matt Murdock shit just popping in on No Way Home the way that he did, and then also we've had that we've said like, so who else is in existence? Does this
Everyone
mean the
but
Netflix?
Iron Fist.
Does this mean that the shows happened? What's canon here?
Yeah, it's
Just
confusing.
weird.